Hey guys, coming at you again. This is recording this pretty much after the last video that went up. Um, Sitting here still thinking about we talked about towards the end of the last the last video about money. But if you didn't watch that one, or I don't know when this one's going to go up, so just as a quick refresher, today I'm again smoking that Harriet Pipes Billiard, and still got that Sutliff 1849 blend, that Virginia Perique. Pretty consistent flavor through the entire bowl. It's a Virginia Perique blend. These are really my favorite blends so far. I'm working on enjoying Latakia blends. That's a goal. Probably through the winter, as I'll be smoking more Latakia blends. But this is what I got today. This is my vapor pipe. When I get those new Harriet pipes in, I'll probably dedicate one of those to Latakias. Which, actually, quick question for you guys. So I mentioned in the last video, I've got that squat Rhodesian coming with a big saucer shaped bowl to it, and I've also got a straight apple coming. And I know different pipes and different shape bowls and all that kind of stuff work with different blends. So just out of curiosity, what shape pipe do you guys find works best with Latakias? I'm kind of thinking the squat Rhodesian will become the Latakia pipe, but I have another one that I had bought. It's an estate pipe. I don't think I've shown you guys yet, and it's a little bit more of like that shape, and I didn't have very much luck with that pipe and a Latakia blend that I tried. I really got that soapy taste from it, which I know it depends on the blend, and some people get that and whatnot. But then I smoked that same Latakia blend in a different pipe. I think it was one of my Morgan Bones pipes, and I didn't get that soapy flavor from it. So, just interested in your guys' thoughts on bowl shapes, and if they tend to work with specific blends for you, if it's a pipe by pipe kind of thing. Anyways, I want to talk a little bit more about the aspect of money in our lives. As I kind of hinted at in the mention towards the end of the last video, it's not money isn't a bad thing. Money isn't evil. It's the love of money, doing things just purely for the money, that becomes a problem. And I think this is a thing that confuses a lot of people. I think a lot of people think that if you have money, you're automatically a bad person. And I kind of used to think that way. It kind of goes hand in hand with a lot of the more left-leaning political views. The whole tax the rich mentality. And don't get me wrong. I do think everyone should pay their fair share of of taxes. I think we're all paying too much in taxes, to be perfectly frank, but that's a government gripe that I have. But anyways, coming up on elections, we're hearing a lot about tax the rich, tax the rich, tax the rich. Everyone needs to pay their fair share of taxes. At the end of the day, I don't approve of most of the things our government's spending money on. I don't approve of the fact that the government essentially incentivizes people to make as little money as possible. It seems antithetical to the American spirit. I think a lot of people are stuck in that mindset. We're constantly hearing about the middle class disappearing. And it's not accidental. For all the talk that about taxing the rich, especially coming from the left, I mean, to be perfectly honest, if they actually meant what they said about taxing the rich and everyone paying their fair share, we wouldn't have a tax code that's so incredibly large. It seems to me as if that was actually the goal, everyone paid their fair share, we would do away with the whole tax code. The tax code's as large as it is, from what I understand. And again, if you guys know something different, please comment down below. The tax code's as robust and large as it is today to create loopholes. And people that have enough money, that are wealthy enough, can afford to pay lawyers and tax specialists to find ways to get them out of paying taxes. And those who can't afford them pay the full taxes. So if you're coming from, again, here, at least from my viewpoint, you hear that tax the rich coming from the left all the time. And again, if that's really what they wanted, they would just do away with the tax code. If you don't make much, you're not going to pay much in taxes. If you make a lot, you're going to pay more in taxes. I don't understand the confusion behind that. Again, I don't want to pay taxes. I do. I don't approve of most of what our government spends its money on, but I still pay my taxes. But I don't understand why we have this large, robust tax code if that was really what the left thought. It's an easy thing to say, but when you start trying to tax the wealthy, and then you take that money and you give it to low-income earners, it's government playing Robin Hood. And I think all of us probably understand that government doesn't do anything well or efficiently. It's just a I don't know. Am I going to fault wealthy people, corporations, large businesses? Am I going to fault them for trying to find loopholes in the tax code? No. Do I like the fact that, a lot of these companies can find ways out of paying taxes? Not really, but again, I can't fault them for it. Why would they? Why would they pay full taxes if there's a way out of it? That's kind of ignorant thinking. Why, in most cases, would you pay more money for something when you know you can get it cheaper? That's why websites like Amazon, almost everybody has an Amazon account at this point. I know people say that they don't like to, buy stuff on Amazon, and I get it. But if I go to my local stores, they don't have anything that I want for the most part. Quality sucks of things that they stock in stores. And then you pay more in store for something you could get cheaper and shipped to you free online. You walk into a store, let's just use a bookstore, for example, right? You walk into Barnes & Noble, you want to buy that new book that just came out. Or you want to buy a book that came out, a year ago. And you go and you look on the shelf, and it's not there. You go up and you ask somebody and say, hey, do you have this in stock? Or, look in the computer and they'll say, no, we don't have it in stock, but I can order it for you. So can I. It's one of those things where, these services exist in this modern time because people want convenience. Now, a lot of people, when you look at, again, companies like Amazon, and you look at their tax history, or lack thereof, they went a long time without paying taxes, or anything of great significance. And a lot of people look at that and say, see, that's a big problem. How do you think Amazon got as big as it is? They were building infrastructure, and they were taking tax breaks every year building out that massive infrastructure. I mean, if you look just a couple years back, Amazon shipped everything, and it was delivered to your door mostly through United States Postal Service, sometimes UPS. But now you struggle to go out, drive around anywhere, and not drive past an Amazon delivery vehicle. Now, as you can kind of tell by the background, this is, I'm in a little bit more of a rural area. And those delivery vans are everywhere. Never mind being in a city. Those didn't just pop up overnight. So they use those tax loopholes, they use those ways to get out of paying taxes, but you can make the argument that we're all kind of better off for them doing that, right? I mean, you can order the most obscure thing now and have it delivered to your doorstep tomorrow. It's pretty crazy. You look at companies. Let's take it a step further from Amazon, actually. Jeff Bezos and his Blue Origin space company. Or Elon Musk and SpaceX. Those are both privately funded companies, essentially. And Bezos and Musk fund those companies through the businesses that they've created. And they've left NASA in the dust. I mean, NASA got astronauts stuck on the International Space Station. And they're coming to ask Elon Musk to get them back to Earth because they can't. The government's asking private industry to do that. So, money can take you places. If you go back and watch interviews with Jeff Bezos, he's talked about wanting to do this whole space exploration from the early days. As soon as Amazon started turning a profit, that was one of his big goals, is to get Blue Origin there. I mean, you can hate him all you want. The man was determined, and he got what he wanted. All right, so that's the big view of money. Let's take it back down to the personal level. Because I don't think most of us are thinking, yeah, I'm going to start my own space company. What about your family? Are you living paycheck to paycheck? I am. When I work 2 jobs. But I'm putting some money aside into investments because if one thing has been proven, the US dollar is continually losing value. If you just rake in money forever and ever and ever, and all you do is you put into a savings account, then you look what inflation is doing. Your money's becoming worth less and less and less. No matter who's president, that doesn't matter. If you didn't already know this, the stated goal of the Federal Reserve, who determines the interest rates and all that kind of stuff, their stated goal is an inflation rate of 2%. So that means if they're doing their job, they want to see an inflation rate of 2%, which means every year things are getting more expensive. The value of the dollar is decreasing. And so if you just stash your money in a savings account, put it in a jar and bury it in your backyard, it's never going to be worth as much as it is today. We're not talking that their goal is a negative inflation. They don't want that. They don't want prices to not increase. They just want them to increase at a not as noticeable rate. So what can you do? You got to earn interest on that money. And one of the best ways to do that is in the stock market. I don't remember all the exact details of this, but years ago, what's his name? Warren Buffett. That's who it is, Warren Buffett. He actually made a bet with a large investment firm that over a period of time, I don't remember what it was, 5-10 years, 1 year, I don't really remember all the details again, but he said that by just investing money in the market and letting it ride, he would make more money at the end of that time frame than these hedge funds that were picking and choosing and trying to time the market and sell things. And it was like I think it was like at least $1 million bet. You know who won? Warren Buffett. And then he donated that money. A lot of people are watching the stock market on the day to day, playing, trying to find the next overnight sensation, the next Apple, the next Amazon. There's always going to be people that have inside information. And unless you're in that world, you don't have it. By the time a stock makes the news of how well it's doing, you've already missed the majority of the growth that's going to happen from that. You might still make money. If you invest in Nvidia today, you'll probably make more money than what you put into it. But if you had put money in Nvidia 10 years ago, you'd be much more wealthy. But if you also just put money in the general stock market through like an S&P fund or any sort of ETF, you're gonna make money so long as you're in it for the long haul. Day trading, quick trades, you might have some success, but so that's what I'm doing. Instead of keeping a whole bunch of money laying around in a bank account, I don't expect anything great out of it in my life, to be honest. I'm not doing it for me. It's kind of fun, but it's a game to me. I want that money there for my son, for grandchildren, and I want that money there making more money. Because there's only so much time I have, you have to go make money. But money in the right place is making money. Not saying it always does. You know, when the stock market tanks, obviously your account's going to look lower. But history shows that it is going to increase. Money itself is not evil. It's a tool, so long as you don't become obsessed with it. For me, it's part of the legacy I want to leave. I want my family, my son, grandchildren, I want them to have more so that they can be more. I live in an area that's rather affluent. I live in an area where there's people who have a lot of money. Within a 5-minute drive of my house, I know for a fact that there's a CEO of a huge hedge fund company that lives there. And I also know there's lots of people who work at the local Dunkin' Donuts and the bagel shop and the grocery store just to try to meet ends meet here, to be able to afford to live here. And I also know there's a lot of people here who are more in that position, who make okay money, but they want to look like the big shots. They want to try to impress the super wealthy. And for some reason, they think that having a house that's way too big for them, driving a car that they can't afford, is going to impress people. And it does, some people. But those who are truly wealthy don't give a damn what kind of car you're driving. They don't. I know for a fact there's a lot of houses around here, big homes. They only have a couple rooms in that house furnished because they can't afford to furnish anything else. There's a lot of houses around here that go up for sale. People buy them, and then within 2 years, that house is for sale by broker because that person can't afford it anymore. They moved in, they bought it for more than the previous owners, and their taxes went up. They didn't know that yet was going to happen. So then they renovate the house, and they pull permits to renovate the house. And then the value of the house increases further from what they paid for it. And then they get that tax bill. And then they spend a lot more money than they expected on taxes that year. And then the next year, they can't afford it anymore. And the bank takes it back. That's crazy to me. And for what? To impress people you don't care about, you don't know? I can appreciate a beautiful home. I can appreciate a fancy car. What I can't appreciate, though, is not doing right by your family. That I can't appreciate. It's all about priorities. Yeah, make sure your priorities are straight. Yeah, this is a longer video, much longer than I thought it was going to be. So if you stuck around this long, thanks for sticking along, following my the threads in my mind as they move on money, and interested to know your thoughts. So if you guys, if you'd like, go ahead and drop them in the box below. And you guys have a good one. Make sure you got your priorities straight. And I'm not going to tell you what your priorities are. That's a you thing. This whole rant was about my thoughts on priorities. But you determine your priorities, and make sure you make progress towards them, because no one else cares about you like you. All right, guys. Have a good one. Talk to you later.